Chilling new evidence reveals that attorney Jon Eardley tried to warn Britney days before she was placed in a conservatorship, and they wouldn't let him. How did they stop him? They ultimately got him disbarred. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I'm still mad. Look, it seems like things are on the right track with Britney, and I'm here to continue the updates. In fact, I appreciate all of you guys who've been watching. You can hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to make sure you get updates like this. Hit the bell to get all alerts. Smash that like button, and leave a comment down below to help the algorithm. In fact, please check out the other stories if you can. We have a lot of amazing stuff coming, including, I want to quickly plug, this Tuesday, I have a great special guest who will be joining me live. Taj Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, will be here to talk about parallels between the two, Michael Jackson, Britney, and how the media has betrayed her, how they were responsible for a lot of this. It's going to be a great show. I'll put a iCard up here for the live stream. Go click Remind Me to make sure you don't miss Tuesday's live show. Now, look, this is all connected. It's everything. Look at this. This new document that came in, it's heartbreaking. This lawyer, Jon Eardley, was someone who was speaking to Britney at the time, and Jamie and team, the lawyers, everybody involved in getting this conservatorship, would not accept him as Britney's attorney. They wouldn't even ask her to verify, is he Britney's attorney? John sent this letter on January 28th. This was days, like right before the 5150 that then ultimately got her sealed into her conservatorship. And he wrote this letter, and I want to read it for you. It's a little long, but we're going to go through it because it's just chilling. He predicts the future. He tells her exactly what happened. And to not only hear this, but then know that so many people blocked him and got him disbarred for trying to protect this woman. It's going to make you very angry. So let's get through this together, shall we? All right, so here it is. I had not been paying much attention to your case till the LAPD and your ex-husband's lawyer conspired to have you falsely arrested and thrown into a 72-hour involuntary lockdown detention at Cedars. You may not be aware of the fact that your civil rights were violated pursuant to 42 blah, 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 as a result of these actions and the significant implications of these actions with respect to your custody case. In a way, what happened to you may be a blessing in disguise with respect to delivering a knockout punch to your ex-husband's legal team, i.e. Kaplan, and with winning your custody case immediately and unconditionally. Now, I'm going to pause here for a second because there's a lot of people trying to now get angry at Kevin Federline. And to be fair, we should be, because Kevin Federline should be stepping up to clarify things if he was indeed kept out of the loop. I still blame his attorney, Kaplan, because he was working closely with Jamie Spears through all of this. And I think at the time, Kevin Federline was just trying to get the kids, was told about a bill of goods. I've talked to Sam Lufty and other people who all say they do not think Kevin Federline really understood the scope and the extremeness of what was happening here. That said, as more and more comes, K-Fed, you owe us more explanation. What you did, seemingly, and stripped your own kids from their mother, and all of this that you've put them through because you listened to your lawyer. It's sad, man. All right, but let's continue. I've developed a legal strategy for you that I'm confident will turn everything around and ultimately garner your full custody of your children with approximately 30 to 60 days. I'm a father of 2 young girls, aged 3.5 and 1, and can only imagine the heartbreak you are going through. These orders that Scott Gordon has handed down are media-driven and designed to facilitate their economic motivations in denying you even the most basic custody rights, particularly at a time when toddler boys and girls need to develop to a strong and consistent bond with their mother. After having practiced law for a few years in Los Angeles, I find myself at many times sickened by the corruption of the downtown court system. However, your case is the worst I've ever seen because they are unabated in the systematic destruction of your character and reputation, and they will not be happy until they have denied you your freedom and milked you for your last dime. The custody case, as you know, is nothing more than a flat-out extortion scheme, with your children being used as pawns. Thus, the situation needs to be put an immediate end, and the only way that can happen is with the implementation of a completely innovative tactical legal strike against the downtown court system and your ex-husband's lawyers, all at once in a surprising and devastating strategy that will put all of them on the immediate defensive. This will allow you to be in control of the situation instead of being controlled by it. When the LAPD forced their way into your house for not handing your children over to a bodyguard of your ex-husband, they had no probable cause to search and seize your home or to make any such entry property, irrespective of the provisions constraining the court's custody order. Especially the LAPD had your husband's lawyer drive over to your property and had him provide them with an interpretation of the court's custody order so they could justify an illegal search, seizure, and arrest. Facts. My understanding is that he entered your property at the invitation of the police and that you specifically instructed Kaplan to leave the premises. Then, in front of the media, they had you strapped to an ambulance gurney and hauled you away. Secondly, Commissioner Gordon, about whom I know some interesting things, was quick to deny you all of your visitation rights, even before Cedars issued its evaluation that you were not under the influence of illegal drugs or alcohol. Commissioner Gordon clearly is biased against you. I used to work with him when he was Deputy Los Angeles Assistant Director, District Attorney. He is clearly accepting media reports as evidence. Additionally, he is considering declarations provided by Kaplan based upon Kaplan's knowledge of things and events and that he unlawfully obtained at your house. Oh my God, this is infuriating. Think about this for a second. In the last few days, you have been followed everywhere, nearly run off the road, and otherwise interfered with by tabloid journalists. Yesterday, I saw a recent report that questions whether you can be safe to just be driving to a store. Do you think Commissioner Gordon is going to be inclined to return the boys to you under these circumstances? Even if all these scurrilous tabloid coverage were wiped clean from the slate, and particularly when you know other things are being communicated behind the scenes? Not unless you have a legal strategy in place that aggressively confronts the due process, equal protection, fair trial, and other constitutional violations that predominate your case. The first step is disqualifying Kaplan from further representation of your ex-husband. I need to discuss in detail with you the events surrounding the raid on your house. Please believe me when I tell you that a conventional approach in the family law court through the conventional emissaries of a star family law attorneys will not work. Your case will continue to spiral until they have denied you your freedom, your children, and your assets. By then, it will be too late. Sorrell is next an attorney. However, your current posture in the case is primarily defensive. You need an immediate offensive strategy to pound your ex-husband's lawyer into the ground and bring this circus to an end. My proposal is that we investigate innovative legal arguments into the matrix of your custody case to supplement and back up standard family law code litigation that involves child custody issues, providing you with significantly more control over the situation. There is also the nuclear option, the filing of a lawsuit, the specifics of which I will discuss with you privately. Oh, I'm so fascinated to hear what that would have been. I have some of the largest class action cases in the nation pending in the downtown courts against some of the largest corporations in the world. I have affiliate offices in New York, Washington, D.C. None of the standard family law lawyers in this country will be able to obtain for what you need more than anything, a devastating offensive strike against the court system and your ex-husband's lawyers, all of whom are using you to promote their financial and other agendas. I will help you any way I can. I'll explain to you what needs to be done and why it will have the intended results. I will also help you completely overcome any anxieties about testifying in court or showing up at court. I'm willing to take you to court to see it that you get into the courtroom and are able to speak without any anxiety. All I want is to see you win. I do not want anything in return, and I'm willing to volunteer my time with you to see it is that you are successful in this custody case. I'm not interested in publicity, money, or anything other than seeing you obtain full custody of your children. Please recognize that aside from some anxiety and depression, which are totally normal under these circumstances, there is nothing wrong with you. But the court system routinely engages in character assassination to conceal its internal bias and to break you down. You are a strong and beautiful woman who has been working her whole life, and I know you can do this. They are intensely jealous of you. It is my opinion that Kaplan and your ex-husband had this raid on your house planned well in advance and had been waiting for the opportunity to spring it on you. What they ultimately want is to get you in a conservatorship. At that point, your freedom will be denied, giving them the full opportunity to steal all of your money and deny you any access to your children. This is why they keep pushing the mental illness, multiple personality issue. You definitely do not want this to happen. The court's order requiring you to submit to an evidence code can be just satisfied to an outpatient evaluation pursuant to evidence, clearly states, nothing contained in this article shall be discerned or construed to prevent any party to any action from producing other expert evidence on the same fact or matter mentioned in section 730. But where other expert witnesses are called by a party to the action, their fees shall be paid by the party calling them, and only ordinary witness fees shall be taxed as costs in the action. You have a right to provide your own private evaluation in lieu of submitting to a 730 examination. Before now and the next scheduled hearing in February, it is my opinion that you should map out an evaluation plan that is consistent with 733. As soon as you have this in place, next party motion for reconsideration could be heard before the commissioner. There are two advantages to this. It demonstrates to the court that you are complying with the evidence code, and two, it allows the court to see you. The commissioner noted your absence from the last hearing. Most importantly, however, it allows you to establish a record in the event he denies your request. With a record of the proceedings, a ruling not in your favor could be reviewed by the Second District Court of Appeal through a petition for writ of mandate. This would also provide you with the opportunity to raise other important issues. In practical effect, it would also help you in being afforded a degree of fairness in the next scheduled. At the next scheduled, that's all we have of this. I couldn't find the next fourth document, but we have enough there to sort of really get to the heat of the matter, which is, damn. Everything he said happened. Now, what's so crazy, too, is a lot of people I think are still out there like, oh, yeah, but to his best intentions. Well, here's what happened to him. Dude got totally railroaded, disbarred, and has basically disappeared off this face of the earth. I can't find the guy. If anybody out there, John, anybody, please help me step forward and get on the record again, because you were right. You were absolutely right, and this is terrifying. And this story was reported. Now, this was all out there in the news back in the time, but even the parts of the statement did leak out. Quotes got out to the press. Here's NME reporting that the lawyer told Britney her civil rights were being violated, but no one really took it seriously. The media had won the case, not reality. That's why I want to bring on Taj this week, Tuesday. We're going to have a really big conversation. I don't want you guys to miss it, because it's the same thing that happened to Michael Jackson. He lived through that. He saw all this happen to his uncle, and it's just so saddening what happens to these big stars and the amount of greed and corruption of people who try to come take control, as well as the media who are all trying to make a dime on meltdowns and continuing the meltdowns. They don't care about the person being good. They care about them, going crazy on the paparazzi. And in fact, you can really get into more of this, like what happened. Seeing that, Jon Eardley, I'm sorry, I don't see any other intention but trying to help. And seeing the action since, the fact that he's not out there doing promotions and appearances right now says a lot. At a certain point, I think you need to, just for the sake of doing what you wanted to do in the beginning, now hold to it. Now, maybe he can't because of NDAs or other things that have happened since. To be fair, I don't know. But if you go through and actually see what they did to this man, it's terrifying, guys. When you see how they fought him, and you go through these documents, sort of legal summaries of Eardley does not direct us to any evidence in the appellate court to indicate whether she responded to his letter. She apparently called him, and then, according to him, his words, someone physically pulled her off the phone, hung it up, and he never heard from her again. His words. When you think about it going and deeper, all the people who are involved and all the people that then took control, it would make sense, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it make sense to see why they wouldn't want this guy there to hear this? The biggest thing that stands out for me in here, in particular, regardless of whether she had the power or an authority to do so, there is no evidence that Britney retained Eardley in connection to these proceedings. Now, you go to this footnote here. Eardley repeatedly asserts in his opening brief that Britney contacted him after she received his letter. This assertion is not supported in any citation or any evidence because it was a phone call. It is well established that we do not consider evidence personally contained in the briefs, blah, blah, blah. So what he tried to do is he tried to get her there. He wanted her there to basically just like, well, talk to her. Ask Britney. Can someone bring her in? He pushed so hard to get Britney to come in to basically say in person whether it was true or not. And they wouldn't allow it because she was unable to, because she wasn't mentally fit. Eardley elected to proceed on appeal without a reporter's transcript, even when we rely on the reporter's transcript designated by Sam Lutfi. What he provided is incomplete. Setting aside these procedural obstacles, James did not testify that Britney retained Eardley. Rather, he stated that Britney did not tell him that she wanted to hire Eardley to represent her. Listen to that. He literally just says, well, Britney did not tell me that she wanted to hire him. She did not tell me. Oh my God, I laugh because I don't know how else to get through this. They fought him like crazy, guys. He fought so hard, this Jon Eardley. So hard. He then appealed due to First Amendment, and they just cut him at his knees. He then they said they violated the probate code. They're like, nah, we don't see it as that. Sorry. And then they filed a restraining order against him for trying to protect this person. And the probate code even says that portions of the probate code permit an interested party or friend to file petitions on behalf of a conservatee. So here you have this lawyer who's out there saying these legitimate things that are basically putting the people in question as to who's taking over. And the court denied it, saying, no, you're harassing her. Sorry, we don't believe you spoke to her, and we're not going to ask her. I mean, guys, the level of corruption here is so deep. I wish I could just read all this with you, but I'm telling you, it is horrifying what they did to this man. And they ruined his life. They went and dug up some old checks that went bad, and then that summaried with, he represented Britney without her permission is what they went and used against him. They basically scared him out of town, and he refused to ever come back, and he's been silent ever since. Because I don't know what the hell they threatened him with, but someone did. But guys, look, there's so much more to report in this story. This case is not over. Talking about the judicial corruption, there's one woman I really need to get a little deeper into, and I want if you have insight on any of these people, Jon Eardley, or the honorable, so dishonorable Judge Riva Goetz. My God, there's a lot of alleged stuff about this woman that does not paint a very pretty picture. And judges aren't always held in the same standard. They get away with a lot of stuff. But what's really terrifying about what Riva did here is when everything was under fire, she was able to, she did a racket. She's accused here, I got to say, allegedly, of setting up a racketeering scheme, assigning professional fiduciary Jody Paris Montgomery, who controlled more than $33 million of clients' assets, lawyer Sam Ingham, who we now know wasn't in for Britney's best interests, lawyer Andrew Wallet, representing Jamie. All of these people all were connected to Riva, the judge. There's so much more we have to unpack, and I got lots more coming. Riva, you're coming soon. Oh, don't forget, I didn't forget about Lou Taylor and others. Lou Taylor's very litigious. She likes to go after anybody who even mentions her name. I'll be very careful in my reporting. But again, I ask all of you guys, if you're getting frustrated or you're watching this and you have insight, please reach out to me, social media, or email me. Info's out there if you look for it. If you have information, please talk to me. I'll want to vouch it with you. I want to talk to you, make sure you're legit, but I will not reveal your source, your name, any of the sources, as long as I can vouch that you're legit. I want to get the information, the proper information out there. So I appreciate all you guys who've been watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, or better yet, if you really want to support this channel, help me out and hit that join button. It really helps a lot. I'm going to have more exclusive members-only streams and things about this soon, so you're going to want to subscribe, join, help. I appreciate you guys so much. And don't forget, we're going to have an amazing live stream this Tuesday with Taj Jackson. You're not going to want to miss that. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. I'm going to put the end card right here. Click that box on the left to make sure you go hit Remind Me so you can join us for that stream, or click the box on the right to watch more free Britney coverage. Thanks, everybody.